Okay, so I know I haven't uploaded in a while, but there's a very good reason for that. April was a mess for me, and so was May, and June. It's not exactly my fault. I mean, the last chapter had some interesting stuff in it. Oh my god, look at him. He's so cute. Look at the little baby cheeks. Look at his tiny hands. He's so tiny. Everything's so tiny. What do you mean? What do you mean talk about the chapter? This is the chapter. This is the chapter. What is even worth talking about besides this? What I couldn't see at the time is that, of course, there were other things to talk about in that chapter, like the Magician's Guild trying to kill Kaito. They send a bunch of magic from London or wherever, and of course he deflects it because, I mean, if you're not even going to step out your front door to try and kill someone, then really you deserve to fail. After brushing off an assassination attempt, Kaito comments that the card that Sakura made, Rewind, is interesting and cute, and it's kinda like what he wants her to make, but it isn't exactly what he wants. So, I guess it just goes in the garbage with the rest of the clear cards that are useless to him. That's something interesting to think about. Rewind is similar to the card that Kaito wants, so he wants some kind of card that can, like, reverse or restore or I don't know. The Rewind is kind of on the, I mean, there's a lot of things that I guess we could go on, but I don't know. It's just interesting. I can't really come up with like exactly what he's looking for here, but I mean, I guess now at least we finally know in the ballpark what he's looking for. Kaito finishes up this scene by casting silence on Shaoran, making it impossible for Shaoran to even say Kaito's name, or Akiho's name for that matter. I guess he can't really have Shaoran going around blabbing that Kaito is evil and Akiho is something. So that's one chapter down. Let's go down to the next one. And I know I've been off for 3 months, but there was no chapter in June because Clamp took a holiday. Happy Reiwa, by the way. I know I'm a bit late. I definitely need to keep a better schedule here and put out videos on time, because otherwise, why else was I turned into... What am I, anyway? Am I like a squirrel thing, I think? It's questions for later. The first part of this chapter is just everyone kind of decompressing from the last few chapters. I didn't really realize it at the time, but yeah, we've spent the last 3 chapters in 2 locations, Shaoran's apartment and Akiho's place. Sakura and Shaoran discuss their revelations about the cards with Tomoyo, and they show that Sakura's been making the cards based off of people, and also briefly mentioning certain things that we won't go back into. Meanwhile, Suppi and Ruby are getting comfortable with Kiro and Yukito in their own ways. For instance, Kiro is now happy that Suppi is there in person so he can play local multiplayer. You'd think maybe now isn't the best time to be talking about video games, but hey, local multiplayer is superior to online play. Change my mind. Nakuru, meanwhile, makes it known that she's going to be hanging out with Yukito at college, because Ariel set this up and he has that kind of authority. I don't get it. How does he do this? Does he just send enchanted applications to the dean's office and he's just like, let this student in. I know it's the middle of the semester, but it's cool. I'm magic. I don't think it's really necessary. I mean, in my college experience, it was quite possible to just walk into a class and not really be noticed. Might be different in Japan. I don't know. Moving on, we get to the main part of the chapter where we're back at school, and even Sakura is beginning to get weird vibes from Akiho. And this is a big step for Sakura because she never gets bad feelings from people who are passively messing up her life. We find out that they have a swimming class coming up, and when we get to the pool, we discover that it's really small. Tiny. Tomoeda, you have a huge budget, a huge school, but that's a tiny 4-lane pool. My high school had 8 lanes, and it was a junky public school. Let's go outside the pool where we see that Kaito is looking to cause some trouble. No longer content to just be a passive observer since his assassination attempt, Kaito decides it's time to start giving Sakura some more proper motivation and performs a time stop, freezing everyone but Sakura and Shaoran. This also causes Akiho's inner demon, or whatever it is that lives inside her, to awaken, and it reaches out for Sakura and pulls it into itself for something. This is where it ended. So my thoughts coming out of this chapter are that it's a definite confirmation that Clear Card has reached its Acid Tokyo moment and made a tonal shift into its second half or possibly third arc of the story. The secrets have all been revealed, most of them anyway, and Sakura's attitude has changed as she moves from happy and oblivious to concerned and troubled for the majority of this chapter, and probably for the chapters going on from here. As I pointed out before, even Akiho is beginning to give her weird vibes, and she can tell that even though he's revealed his secrets about the cards, there's still something wrong with Shaoran that he's not saying. Though at least in his defense this time, he literally can't, because again, Kaito casts silence. The situation at the end of the chapter is interesting because once again we get a glimpse of this presence that's inside Akiho and that seems to awaken anytime she's stimulated by magic or maybe Kaito. The last time we saw this thing, it referred to Akiho as a vessel, and it calls back to the Magician Guild's words that they will try to fill Akiho with their work, since she is similar to a blank book. So I guess my theory is that the Magician's Guild put something in Akiho that desires to absorb magic or power, and it seems keen on absorbing Sakura. Hopefully the actions in the next chapter will give us a little bit of insight into what this is, though if I had to put my money on anything, I imagine the actual explanation will come in the form of a storybook again. And that's all I really have to say about these last 2 chapters. I promise I will do better to get back on a regular schedule. Life has gotten less crazy than it was before. I've got some other things going on in the background in the meantime. I'm sorry that I took such a sudden, long gap, but spring was a mess for me for various real-life reasons. But if you're curious as to what I get up to in between videos, I am semi-active on Twitter, which you can find here, and I will be getting back to posting on Tumblr again soon enough. The link is down there. I was considering getting rid of Tumblr after the purge, but it seems like Tumblr has managed to weather that condition, so there's no reason to get rid of the Cardcaptor Museum on Tumblr, so it's going to stay there. There is a possibility that an Instagram is coming. I'm looking into it, just because people keep saying I should. But Twitter is where I put most of my updates that are just word-focused and announcements of projects or things that I'm doing behind the scenes or just posting pictures of things that I get to talk about later. So thanks everyone for watching. Before I close, I just have one other nagging question about the school swimsuit again, and that's, where is Sakura keeping the cards? I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I have no experience with girl swimsuits, and I'm pretty sure they don't have pockets. Heck, men's swimsuits don't have pockets. Also, she doesn't look like she's wearing her necklace here, so where is that? Where did anything come from? Yes, you can say it's magic, but I'm just saying, it's like, where does it go? There is literally nowhere on here that cards or the key can be hidden, so I don't know, argue that out in the comments. I have other videos to make. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.